Hi guys, I'm going to expose the solar scams that are going off at the moment. I'm going to rip open the lid. Full disclosure, I have been an installer, I have been a salesman, I have been taught these techniques. They've sat us down in a room and taught us these different ways of being able to close business and being able to manipulate a deal out of a fresh air. And I'm going to open the lid on some of the things that are going off in the solar industry at the moment, in the domestic and in the commercial world. The thing is, people think they're getting a good deal. They think they've been led down a path of a goals path that leads to this world of them generating thousands of kilowatts a day and loads of power, when actually the truth of the matter is, if it's not pointing south and it doesn't say it on the paperwork, then why are people buying the systems? And I think I know what it is. I think that the sparkle and the shine of a salesman is managing to turn their heads, and when the poor installer turns up, the lads turning up to fit it, and they know that system is not going to hit that specific annual yield. It's not going to hit those performance calculations whatsoever. So I'm going to reveal 4 different areas in the industry at the moment where people are taking full advantage of companies, of businesses, of families that have earned money, and they're just taking it off them and saying they're getting a good deal. The major problem, that is part of the problem. The other part of the problem is there is profit in solar. There is a little bit of margin in the scaffolding, a little bit of margin in the electrician, a little bit of margin in the roofer, a little bit of margin here, a little bit of margin there. And we all run off profit. We have to run and function off profit. If we didn't have any profit, then there wouldn't be the money to go again and to fit it again. And there wouldn't be the money to cover it when it does go wrong, when you do run out of brackets. So that element of the job, that element of we have to be comfortable with there is going to be some profit in there. The problem is it's a financial system that's bolted into a mechanical system when that is generating electricity that is obviously saving money. So that creates a place and a window where we can say, hey, this is going to generate this much and that equals this much money. So as soon as there's money involved, as soon as there's pounds and pence involved or dollars in the transaction, there is the drive to make more money and push that harder and be more greedy with it. So that's the problem that we're fighting against in the industry. And these are 4 different ways that people are fully getting ripped off at the moment. The first way is completely overcalculating on the savings. This area in a price per watt, so in a how much does it cost for you to buy your electricity on your site. If you don't know it, it's on your bill. Open your bill. It's normally in price per kilowatt. If you can't find it, you don't know where it is, ask a friend that knows, that reads their bill. Ask the person in the office that always talks about saving a fiver. They'll know exactly where to look for it. Let's open our bill. Let's look at what we're paying per kilowatt for our electricity, because on the back of that is the fact that when a company comes in to describe, oh, we're going to save you 40,000 kilowatt hours, or we're going to save you 1 million kilowatt hours on this commercial project, when you've got those numbers of how much that system is going to generate, then you're going to put in that number that is your price per kilowatt on your electricity. So you know what it's going to generate. They've been truthful and said, yes, it's pointing west. Yes, it's at this angle. That then takes a number that we can then use to say how much light is going to land on that panel, and that kicks out a calculation. So when you're going through that estimation, when you're looking at the paperwork that installer's given to you, the part that you're checking is there within this document, is there price per kilowatt, does it match up with what you are paying? If it doesn't match up, then it's a misquote. It's out. If they say that you're spending 60 pence on your electricity when you're spending 25 pence on your electricity, that payback in years is going to come right the way down, and it's not going to be a valid generation. It's not going to be a valid deal, because you're going to think you're getting a system that's going to pay back way faster than it should. So price per kilowatt. So the side bolt onto this is also your export tariff. There's a load of different tariffs out there, and even I find it confusing sometimes. There's export tariffs that when you sign up to your electrical wholesale, your electrical supplier, that they will then give you an element of your electricity When you buy it back, that's the export is when it's going from your house back to the grid, from your factory back to the grid, from your solar farm back up the lines. That export tariff is another place where people are hiding the facts and the figures. If you got somebody saying it's 5p, I'm just going to put it in there that's the lowest rate we're going to try and get you. But then you've got up against another quote that says, I'm going to get you 30p. They're obviously talking about an Octopus Flexi tariff right there. They're obviously talking about a tariff that's going to save thousands of pounds, which is great, but make sure you're on that tariff to begin with. So that is the first way, is I'm exposing all you guys being naughty and selling with the wrong amount in there, the wrong kilowatt hour amount. Get that contract out. Have a look at exactly what that kilowatt rate is. Number 2, are you ready for the second one? Hidden fees. Hidden fees is when you've got your 3 quotes from your suppliers, because you should get 3, because knowledge is going to get you out of this. When you've got 3 quotations in front of you, hidden fees is, this one's not got scaffolding in it. This one's not got monitoring in it. This quotation hasn't got an inverter in it, or is not got the labour in it, or is missing the scaffolding from it. Lining up those 3 quotations with what you've got is really, really tricky. And it's a way of the installers and the suppliers hiding their profit, hiding stuff in there, hiding a fee in there, or even worse than that, saying it's not included at the end. Saying that bird netting or something that you thought right at the beginning of the process, something that you've seen on the website that you've gone into and followed the lead through, and you're getting that installed on your house or your business, and the hidden fee that is tucked away in there is, oh yeah, it doesn't include scaffolding. Oh, it doesn't include lifting and handling. Oh, it doesn't include removing all the rubbish from your site. There's loads of little things like that. So knowing what is included as a list form, knowing what is included verbally over the phone doesn't stand up. It's got to be in writing. So let's make sure and let's dig into it a little deep. For a domestic, you're spending between 3 to 7 to 8 to 12, depending on how big your system is, depending on which orientation and panels. You're spending a lot of money on this product. You're spending a lot of money on this process. The boys are only going to be there, the install team are only going to be there for so many days, for so many hours. Once they've gone, you're left with a system that's got to stand up. So you got to know that there's no hidden fees tucked away inside there. Number 3 is the cheap gear. There's so many times we've come to installations where it's unbranded, where there's no makes, there's no models on anything, there's no serial numbers on anything. In order for us to certify your project, in order for us to, in domestic world, to get your MCS certificate, your panels have to be registered with MCS, your rails have to be registered, your inverter has to be registered. If you can think of anything else and you're an installer watching this, put it in the comments, put a like and a share, and let's see if we can get everybody buying solar from you guys. But if it's cheap, nasty, horrible gear, you can tell also by the research that's done within it as well. So if you're researching, they're going to provide me with an old school one, an SMA or an ABB. They're going to provide me with a Huawei or an thousands and thousands of different makes. Look at the make and the model on the internet. Get online, have a quick look. Yes, the price that they're saying on there, they're going to charge you a little bit more than what you're seeing, but that is, you're checking the validity, the fact that inverter is in the UK, that has been checked, that has been tested, that's got great reviews. Watch another YouTube video about the make and model of inverter that you're going to be getting in your home, business, factory. Ask the question. If the salesman or the person that's trying to convince you into buying solar starts talking about different types of inverters, if they start naming makes and models of inverter and they're very clear and they write it down and let you go and research it, or they even have the data sheets with them, I've seen that in people's presentations. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's do that. Let's show that there's a data sheet behind this. There's some information behind this. There's a warranty behind each one of these. There's with the solar panels, there's brilliant brochures online, and some installers actually carry them around with them. they're proud. Most installers are proud to fit good gear. Most installers, when you meet them, they're proud that we fit this type of inverter, we fit this type of solar panel. They don't hide what makes and what models they're using, because they're proud of what they're doing with their hands, and what they're leaving you with for the next 20, 30 years, and is going to be generating. Number 4, are you ready for it? The 4th way people are getting ripped off is the fly-by-nighters. The companies that set up multiple businesses, take your deposits and disappear, take your deposits and disappear, take your deposits and disappear. There is something called deposit protection schemes. Go research it, go look into it. Deposit protection schemes that if you're doing in domestic world, that you can go out to and go, hey, like, is this installer registered with you? Is this installer registered to hold my deposit? Because they're going to ask you for quite a lot of money at the front end. We all offer different amounts. We all work in different ways. Full disclosure, some jobs I've done without a deposit, which was very silly in the early years, and I ended up paying for that in a few different ways. But it's one of those things that we have learned, that there's so many of these companies that set up and disappear overnight. Go check them out on Companies House. Don't fall. I'm just going to add a spare one in here. Don't fall for the pressure sell. So a pressure sell is when, if you can do it, we can do it. A pressure sell is there's only 5 spaces left in your area. Don't give in to that moment when you get to the end of a sales process. You're either going through with it or not. You've either got an objection or you haven't. When you get to that very end of the sales process and it's thank you very much, here's the deposit, let's go. I'm happy with you, happy with the materials that you're going to deliver for me, happy with the output of that system, happy that you've calculated that you have picked that it's on a west roof at 22 degrees, that it's got the right orientation, the right specific annual yield within that design, within that process. It's really important that you dig into those details and just do that little bit more research into every different element that you're getting sold in those moments. How to protect yourself. The main way of you protecting yourself is knowledge. The main way is to have the little bit behind your head that you're going to go, right, I am going to go and research company A. I'm going to go on Companies House. I'm going to see if they're there. I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to see what they're saying like on there. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to have a look at what the customers actually say. A Trustpilot review and little stars. You know you can pay for that, but you can buy nearly any element of interaction. So let's go into it. Let's drill into it, because a 2-word comment of right good on an installation where you're just about to spend 10, 15, 20 grand on something. Let's dig into it a little bit deeper. Installers are genuinely proud of the work they've done. A lot of them will even say, come on, jump in the car. Let's go. I'll take you around the corner. I'll take you to one I did last month. I'll take you to one I did last year. We did one over the road, or we did one at a school. That type of element of taking your time, going in that little bit slower. Take me to an install you've done. Let's speak to one of your clients on the phone. When you've done a great installation and you've genuinely saved somebody thousands and thousands of pounds, they will pick up the phone and say, thanks for that. They will realise that years down the line that installation that you've put on has saved them absolutely millions. And they may not remember the installer. They may not remember that, but they remember the value of the solar that you've installed. So phoning up and getting those types of testimonials are absolutely gold. Another way that you can protect yourself is the certification of it. Is the NIC, EIC, the MCS, the REAL, the NAPIT, the Alexa, the HICE, all those different things. Installers are really, really proud of them, because it takes hard work to get them. It takes a chunk of money for us to get them. It takes a chunk. We have to prove our insurance to these guys. We have to prove that we've got like customer complaint setups. We have to prove that we've got all of these systems in place to catch and look after our clients and make sure that we're not mis-selling, and make sure we're not leaving things undone, not finishing jobs, not getting the right certification through. But I say this, you can protect yourself in this way by looking for the NIC, EIC badge, the NAPIT badge, the MCS badge. The installers are really proud of those types of things because they're difficult to get. They are difficult to have and they're difficult to keep. They will come out and inspect you on a yearly basis to make sure that you can keep that certification. Just like gas safe, just like the engineers in the field there, it's exactly the same in the solar installation game. You can lose your MCS. We've seen products actually lose their MCS registration in our time, where an installer's gone, right, I'm going to fit these panels, and at the time it had its MCS was still doing stuff, or the inspection council were looking at different elements of that, and they've said no. It's exactly the same with having slavery in your supply chain. As you work your way back through that list of exactly what you're getting, knowledge is your best friend when you're choosing which company to go when you go for it. Checking them out in their history, checking them out in their LinkedIn and their Facebook and things like that. They will be proud of their registrations and those bits and bobs like that. And then going into the specifics of the product itself. So a way that you can protect yourself is a simple Google search, is a simple YouTube search of going, I just want to check like an M-phase inverter, micro inverter, or a solar edge inverter. Let's see what the installers say about like that. Let's watch one of the manuals of how they install it. Has the guy that's come and tried to sell you solar talked to you about how they need to be registered, need to be how they register their warranties? At what stage do they register their warranties? Are they going to hold you over a barrel going, we're not going to take our scaffolding down, we're not giving you your handover pack until you pay us? Have you had that conversation about what does the back end of that job look like when it gets there? Guys, solar is an amazing investment. Solar is an amazing piece of kit. It's a brilliant industry to be in. It's absolutely fascinating seeing where it's going to go. And do you know what? When solar's done right, it's fascinating. It can make meters go backwards. It can stop meters. It can really make a difference in factories. It's going to save hundreds of thousands of tons of carbon across our nation and across our cities, across our buildings, across our industries. And I'm seeing so many places that are stuck in the chain of making a decision, are stuck in the pipeline of actually stepping out and doing it, because there's people out there doing all four of these things in commercial, in domestic, and even in agriculture. In some of the solar farms that you go out and have a look at, we're going to pay you £2,000 an acre a year. There's just silly numbers that are never going to generate, never going to happen, never going to work. So please go with a reputable company. I'm not saying go with us. I'm saying go with a reputable company. Do these inspections. Arm yourself with knowledge. Do not get scammed when it comes to solar. I hope that's been beneficial. I hope that's added. Please like and share. And if a friend is buying solar and you think these guys need to hear this, share it with them as well. That's Justin from Independent Solar and Consultants, hopefully bringing some knowledge to the solar industry.